What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about how much we've spent so far on this build. So we're going to talk about the chassis, we're going to talk about the engine swap, we're going to talk about the components like the cooling system, the turbo system, the oil system, the fuel system, and also we're going to talk about all the suspension upgrade that we're going to be using for this build. Alright, so pretty much to start, we're going to talk about the chassis, okay? This is a 2013 SCION FRS, okay? Also known as a Subaru BRZ. Now, the chassis, as you guys know, I did actually own a 2003 Infiniti G35. So I ended up trading that chassis, that car, for this. This actually came with a blown motor, so, you know, it was a good deal. I originally paid $3,000 for the Infiniti G35, right? So this is what is actually, you know, cost. The $3,000 SCION FRS. Unbelievable, but yes. I mean, the goals with the G35 was actually, you know, keeping it and then drift with it, you know, have fun with it, you know, like a seat time car. But this came across on the marketplace. You know, somebody was selling this car for, what is it, like 55, 65 with a blown motor. And then I actually traded that G35 for this SCION FRS. Now this car actually came with a blown motor. So, I mean, it is a new chassis, but compared to what I paid in the years, I mean, you guys know. So literally I paid $3,000 for this car. It has a New York clean title, right? Only the downside was a blown motor, but hey, I think I got a good deal out of it because you can find a crash chassis for $3 or $4 these days. So, yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the engine swap. As you guys know, I do actually have a 1JZ VVTi over here. This is actually the JZX 110. A little different, you know, than the previous motor that I got on S13, the JZX 100, but it works the same way. Now, we actually have few options, right? At the beginning, I wanted to do a 2JZ swap, and also I was thinking about a LS swap, right? And then we came across, you know what? Let's try to do a K-series swap. Now by that time, the 2JZ prices went up a lot. So we were looking about like $5,000 a motor, I think. So I was actually in the budget, you know, so we went ahead and looked over the K-series swap. So the K-series swap is actually a lot, well, you cannot say a lot cheaper because once you put everything together, is pretty much what is this gonna cost. So I got a K-series sitting in the back right now for $700, right? And also that actually $200 for the BMW transmission. I got a 5-speed transmission. All it was missing is just, you know, the wiring harness, the adapter plate and all that stuff. But, you know, I was looking online, you know, you guys do a lot of research and stuff. It was just too much Frankenstein going on with all that K-series and BMW and Toyota stuff, you know, so it was a little sketchy. So I was like, you know what, let's think about it. You know, I sat down on the computer, was looking for motors, you know, 2JZ, 1JZ, and actually this came across and it wasn't a good deal. A year ago I paid about $2,800. Now today we're looking about to spend like $5,000 on the JZ. So now, as you guys know, the 1J and the 2J, they're actually very reliable motor. They do run a little hot, but you just gotta work the way around it, you know. A better cooling system, a better oiling system, and then you should be good. Plus, the 1J and the 2J, in my opinion, they are the best sounding engine of all the time. Trust me, if you could afford one, you should get one. So, we're down $2,800. So now we're gonna talk about the components, right? Like the motor maintenance, the wiring, the turbo system, the fueling system, the cooling system, and I would say the oilless system. All right, so for maintenance on the motor, I'm running the stock bottom end. Okay, I haven't opened the motor at all yet. Compression is fine. When I got the motor, I did compression test, and also I retested it when, you know, I had the motor sitting on the driver. You know, like I had the video that it shows that actually the motor is running, and also I did a compression test. I'm very happy because I had 180 over all 6 cylinders, so that showed that the motor is good. I did actually replace the crank pulley, right, because the crank pulley was overdue. The silicone around it was kind of bad, you know, it's starting to crack already, so I went ahead and I replaced it by a fluid damper crank pulley. That's for 1JZ, 2JZ. They are actually direct bolt on, so it was plug and play. I did replace the timing belt. I'm running a Tomei timing belt. Okay. What else I did? I did cam seals. I did firming seal, ramming seal. I did. I replaced the VVTi cam gear because the other one was pretty rusty and it was leaking a little bit, so I just replaced the whole thing. Okay. I also replaced the VVTi solenoid. I did the gasket on the throttle body. New gasket on the intake manifold side, the lower and the higher plenum. A new exhaust gasket, you know. And also I put a new water pump. I put a new hydraulic belt tensioner and also a tensioner bracket that's, you know, retains the belt. What else? I think that's pretty much for maintenance. I did actually took out the lower oil pan and I'll clean it up, reseal it, and that was pretty much it. So now we're going to talk about the wiring and the ECU. Now I'm actually running a wiring specialty harness, right, for the 1JZ VVTi to the SCION FRS chassis. This is actually a plug and play, like, non-brain harness. You just gotta put everything together, you know, connect the plugs into the chassis, ECU, and you should be good. Plus it comes with a CAN bus. Hopefully all the electronics in your car, it should be working with no problem. Now I could say that the wiring, it is actually optional, right? Because a lot of people run, you know, stock harness unless it's all cut up, right? I mean, you could put it together, but I mean, you can run your motor with the stock ECU and also, you know, the stock harness. You just gotta figure out, you know, the feel. Trust me, the JZ will run. All you gotta figure out is your feel and your power. That's it. You know, if you don't really, like I say, if you don't really care about your electronics inside your car, like your dash stuff, you know, all you need to have is your water temperature gauge, oil pressure gauge, oil temperature gauge, your boost gauge, and your AFR gauge, and then that's pretty much it. I mean, if you're in a budget, you could choose to go that way. It could save you about like $1,800 to $2,500, I would say. The wiring is about $1,200 and the ECU is about $900. So yeah, I mean, if you're not in a hurry, if you're not desperate to get your car running ASAP, you know, it's a project car. So just do it once, do it right. That's it, once for all. Now for ECU, I'm actually running the ECU Master Black Edition. I never ran an aftermarket standalone, so I just went for recommendations. So a lot of people recommended it, and decided to go ahead and try it out. Alright, so we're going to talk about the turbo system now. I'm actually running a different setup this build. I'm running a top mount turbo, right? Pretty much this is the BorgWarner 257 SX with a 1JZ VVTi CX Racing turbo manifold, and also the CX Racing downpipe, right, from a IS300 swap 1JZ. And also we're running a 50mm Pro Gate from Turbo Smart, right? That's the external wastegate. And then I guess that should be it. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the transmission, the drive shaft, and the clutch. Okay, now transmission, I'm actually running a R154. Okay, I got it on a good price before COVID. Transmission was just chilling in the back of my garage, and I just had it there for spare, you know. So at that time, I think I paid like around 1,000. So on 154 right now, you're looking about to spend about like 2 G's or more, you know. Everything just went blooming, you know, after COVID, so it's crazy. Now for dry shaft, I've actually purchased this Shaftmaster custom dry shaft. You know, that costs about like $450. You know, it wasn't too bad. Now for the clutch system, we're gonna be running something slightly more aggressive than the previous build clutch. We're gonna be running the Ogura Racing twin disc 650 PS. I got this on a pretty good deal, I would say, like before COVID as well. I paid around $1,500 shipped to the US. So yeah, that's the clutch. Alright, so we're going to talk about the cooling system now. We're actually running a coated rack. This is for stock SCION FRS or Zubu VRZ. Now originally I wanted to run the stock fan clutch, but unfortunately it won't fit in here. So I'm trying to avoid, you know, a modification on the chassis. You know, the less the better, you know, so we could just keep a nice clean stock looking, you know. So that's what I'm aiming for. I mean, obviously a fan clutch would perform a lot better on cooling. It's just a little drag in horsepower, but hey, as long as my cooling system is fine, I think don't really like horsepower don't really matter to me. We're running a Red Dan Industry upper water neck. I mean, that is not necessary, but I decided to go with it because it looks a lot nicer and cleaner. And also here we have a Durarell Performance high performance fans. Right, it came with a shower and 2 big really fans. You know, these are supposed to pull about like 4,000 CFM. So I mean, I guess I will see how that goes. For intercooler, the intercooler is not here yet, but I'm actually getting the, you know, the Treston TR10 intercooler. That's for, you know, 600 horsepower. You know, that'd be plenty on for me. So now for water piping on the radiator, I'm running actually the CX Racing water piping. So I'm just using the lower radiator piping that wraps around the motor. That's the only pipe that I'm going to be using because the top one, I'm running the Rat Industry upper water neck, and I will have to find some flexible hoses to, you know, go with it. So we're going to talk about the oil cooling system. So I went ahead and I deleted the stock factory 1JZ oil cooler, and I upgraded into the Gradit, you know, thermostatic sandwich plate. I ran this in the past, it run great, no problem. And also we're gonna be running a 40-row oil cooler, you know, for the best cooling performance. So for electrical power, we're actually running a Optima rat top battery. And also we have upgraded our alternator, right? From a JZ to a 2004 Sequoia alternator. So it's gonna go from 90 amp, right, to 150 amp. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the fuel system. I am actually running bigger injectors. I'm running the 1050X from Injector Dynamics. I was actually, you know, planning to buy a radium fuel rail, you know, but I don't need it, so that actually saved me $300. And for fuel pump, I'm running a AEM 340 LPH, that's liter per hour. And also we have a radium high flow fuel filter and a automotive fuel pressure regulator as well. And for suspension, I actually upgrading pretty much the whole entire thing. You know, we're gonna be running Fortunato coilovers, right, with Swiss springs. So for steering and angle, we're gonna be actually running the PowerShop Max angle kit on this build. I ran it on my past, on my S13. It runs great. They're very durable, you know. Plus they're pretty affordable, you know, compared to Wisefab. So it's 1,400. Wait, with the knuckles, I think they're 1,400. Yeah, 1,400. You know, compared to 2,800 Wisefab. So it is. So pretty much this is what it's gonna cost you. You know, this is based on my budget. Of course, everybody has different. You know, everybody have different different tastes. You know, you might want to go with a different intercooler. You might want to go with a different turbo setup. So who knows? But this is based on my build. But it's still missing tons of stuff. You know, like the intercooler stuff, you know, the water piping, the exhaust piping, the tuning. So I mean, the body kits. I mean, this is a lot, you know, like it is a project car. So I'm hoping, you know, to finish this car by the end of this year if I get all the parts. I mean, I purchased all the parts already, they're just not here, you know. Everything is, you know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks waiting, 3 weeks, 4 weeks waiting. The intercooler is 3 to 4 weeks on wait time. The coilover is 3 to 4 weeks on waiting time. So I mean, it is a lot of, you know, waiting process. Like realistically, how much power I wanted to get out of this build, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm looking into like 450, 500. I think I'd be pleased. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You know, please subscribe, like, please like. So yeah, so pretty much, okay. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, follow, share, and subscribe. And I hope to get this running as soon as possible.